everybody. Joyce here with the Traveling Gamblers, and I am here with Jon. Hello, Jon.
Hello, Joyce.
And Jon and I are here on the Celebrity Apex. Today is day 24 of 28 days on the Apex. And where we left off last night is we were getting ready to go to dinner at Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And we were joined with our friends Mark and Vicky and Leah and Robbie. We had a wonderful dinner. The food was fantastic. The service was wonderful.
After dinner, we went to the production show, The Tree of Life. We've seen it before. It's an excellent show, but Robbie and Leah never saw it before, so all six of us went there. Mark and Vicky have seen it before also. So we all loved the show. It was great. The production crew is unbelievable on this ship and all celebrity ships, really. But this one has a really good production crew. After we saw the Tree of Life, we went to the casino.
Yes, we did. And we had a pretty good night. We played for a long time. We had a couple jackpots. And I had 2 hand pays and an almost hand pay. And we ended the night up a couple $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
It was a success. And we went to bed about 11:30, 12 o'clock. We got up this morning, and because we were arriving in Puerto Rico, we were spring ahead an hour. The whole thing was confusing for us with the whole time change because it was daylight savings, as most, if not all of you know. So it was spring ahead an hour, but the ship didn't follow the daylight savings. So it didn't spring ahead an hour on Saturday night. Instead, it did last night on Sunday, because today on Monday we were in Puerto Rico. And it was very confusing. And for the first half of the day, we weren't sure what time it was. And we went to breakfast with Leah and Robbie and Mark and Vicky at the buffet this morning. And it was absolutely lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And then after breakfast,
we went to Cafe El Baccio.
We did.
And we did some work and we socialized, and we then came up to the cabin and got ready to get off the ship. We arrived at about 3:30, I think, at Puerto Rico.
We did.
Yes. And we got off the ship. There was a really long line. We never waited that long to get off the ship.
No, it was really long. I think one of the things is, I just realized this, is that we had 2 days at sea. Today was our first port. So we left on Saturday. So we had half a day Saturday night, all day Sunday. And today was our first port. And I think I think Puerto Rico is a popular port, and people were anxious to get off the ship. I've never waited in line like that to get off the ship, and it was all good. It was fine. It wasn't that bad. It was like 10 or 15 minutes to get off the ship. And we got off the ship, and we hired a local driver to take us around. And he took us around for about an hour and a half and showed us some of the sights. And Leah and Robbie have never been to Puerto Rico before. So most of the things that we saw that he pointed out, I think all of them, we'd seen them before, but it was still very enjoyable. The driver took us to some really interesting places. And one of the places that we hadn't seen before, or at least in this way, was at El Morro, which is a fort at the kind of the top, the highest point there in Old San Juan. There's a cemetery that is over 300 years old. And it was beautiful. And we have a little clip of it. And we were really surprised at how clean and white the headstones and the mausoleums were. And just sitting there in that moment and thinking about the history and all of the people that had lived and died. And it was just, for me, it was a pretty powerful moment.
It was.
Yeah.
And did he say the fort, a lot of it was underground?
Yes. So he took us to another end of the city and said, so you see this wall here, underneath this is where the jail cells are, and that the fort goes under the ground. It was pretty cool. Puerto Rico is a really good port to do on your own if you want to. The beach was like 10 minutes away. It wasn't far. And he took us around and he showed us some pretty interesting sights. There were 2 churches that he talked about that kind of both vie for the name of the oldest church in the Western Hemisphere.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really interesting.
And you can hire the taxi driver. I think it was $25 a person.
Yes, he started out at $49 a person, I think. And John and Robbie negotiated with him, and we ended up paying $25 a person. And it was about an hour and a half, so it wasn't bad. And it was very enjoyable. It was exhausting because when we first got there, we walked, and we walked up about halfway into the city, and then we realized that maybe what we should do is hire somebody. So then we walked back down and hired the guy. And we got back on the ship about 5:30, closer to 6 o'clock.
Yes.
And we showered and got ready for dinner, and here we are. Mm-hmm. We are going to go to dinner tonight in the Cosmopolitan because we want to record that for you. Mm-hmm. So the 6 of us are meeting for dinner, and we're going to record that. And after dinner, we're going to, I think, go to Cafe El Baccio and maybe just hang out and maybe play some cards, listen to some music. There's not a lot going on. We really didn't want to go to see the show tonight. We're tired, and the casino isn't open until midnight because we're in port until 9:30. It's all aboard at 9:30, so we're here till probably closer to 10. And then, of course, we have to wait until we're out at sea a certain distance before the casino can open. So I think we're just gonna have like a quiet, relaxing, regrouping night. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow we're in Tortola, and we're gonna stay on the ship. I think maybe we'll utilize the retreat sun deck tomorrow. Hopefully the ship will be mostly empty for at least part of the day, and we'll see what the day holds. On that note, that does it for us on day 24 of 28 days on the Apex. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate your support. And as always, we hope you have a wonderful day.